Welcome to Star Pubs and Bars food training video. This video is all about the great British classic sausage and mash. So sausage and mash, what a great British pub classic this is. And really it's time for your butcher to shine as much as your chefs. I've got a couple of examples here of some really good quality sausages, perhaps to do different price points. The first one here is just a traditional Cumberland sausage, and the second one is a Butcher's Own award-winning pork sausage. And you can see the size difference, and we're going to have a little look later on at different presentation techniques. Before we get started looking at the presentation of sausage and mash, there's just a couple of do's and don'ts that I'd like to recommend as part of this training video. And they're to do with cook method and sausage. And there's a couple of things to really avoid in the kitchen and to challenge if you see any of your chefs doing it. First one is the deep fat fryer. Certainly you are not only going to ruin your oil that's currently in your deep fat fryer by putting the sausage in it, but you're really going to ruin the sausage as well. The second one is to avoid really hot cooking surfaces such as the char grill. What you don't want that you might get from really hot cooking surfaces is the skin splitting and some of that great flavour just dropping out onto the char grill. So really the best cook methods for your sausage under salamander grill or in a pan, start in a pan and then finish in the oven. Okay, so we're going to have a look at a couple of different presentation methods for sausage and mash. The first one I'm going to do is going to be a presentation for a great community pub, a value food offer. And we're going to look at a really simple presentation. And then we're going to look at really sort of more lavish garnishing for a sausage and mash in a more premium outlet. So right now I have just on the stove, this is some pre-made pellet mashed potato. Takes a lot of the work and the preparation and time out of preparing mashed potato. And all I'm going to do, I've just got some on the pan, just warming through there. I'm just going to add a little splash of cream and give it a quick stir. And I'm going to have a taste for seasoning. This pre-made mashed potato is already buttered and it is already seasoned. We'll just check, and it's absolutely fine. On this pan here, I have some onions, and all I've done with these onions is started to sweat those down. And this is for my onion gravy. Pan of gravy, onions sweating down over here, and all I'm going to do is just add a ladle for one portion into our onions. It's a really simple method of doing an onion gravy. Rather than having two gravies in your bain-marie or being hot held at the same time, you can just keep the one pot of gravy, stove on, onions on, and add the gravy to it during service. I'm just going to add a little more there so we've got enough for a full portion. Okay, so we've got our mashes done, we've got our onion gravy just on, and in this pan here I've just got some fresh peas. Now the peas, they just come frozen, and all I'm going to do is pop them into some boiling hot water just for a couple of minutes to heat through. Okay, so first of all I'm going to get myself a nice quenelle of mashed potato. Sausages coming out the oven. We're going to go for a trio of sausages. Okay, so we have our first sausage and mash for our value food pub. Okay, for our next presentation on sausage and mash, we're going to look at a slightly more premium version. So this mashed potato, this is homemade mashed potato. I'm just got it on the stove here to warm through. I'm just going to add some cream to it. And then just check for seasoning as it warms through. At the back stove here, I've got some red wine reducing. Instead of a roasted onion gravy, I'm going to do a nice red wine reduction and add some great gravy to it. Just check this mashed potato for seasoning. That's really good. We've got our red wine here, nicely reduced. We want a really dark, lovely gravy. as I add a little gravy to it here, and we're going to just put in a knob of butter to give it a nice sheen. I'm after a really dark, rich gravy and a beautiful ruby colour. Okay, so mash is on, gravy's done, sausage is done, and now we're just going to have a little look at garnishing. So let's start off. Again, I want a nice quenelle of mashed potato. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Thick Butcher's award-winning sausages. Now's the time to shine with a little bit of garnishing. So I've got in the oven here some beautiful shallots that have been roasted off, and I'm going to carefully position some of these around the bowl before the gravy hits. I like to go for an odd number rather than an even number. Seems to look better on the plate for some reason. And this beautiful, rich red wine sauce, burn the pan, chef. Around the outside. Now then, we're still not finished because I've got some interesting garnish here. So this is some shredded leek that I'm going to use to bring a little bit of height to the dish. We've got some fried sage leaves just for the outside. I'll go for just for 3 of those. And finally, some beautiful crisp pancetta. A little sprig. And there we have it. 2 very different looking sausage and mash dish. One for value outlet, one for a premium outlet. But really great products on each. Delicious mashed potato, delicious gravy, a couple of different finishes, but what a beautiful dish to sit down, eat in front of an open fire on a cold winter's day. Perfect British pub comfort food.